Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use NotebookLM. So NotebookLM to me is basically a way to expedite your learning when it comes to watching YouTube videos, reading articles, or basically reading notes, etc. What's really cool about this is that this is great for people who are studying. This is great for people who love learning. This is great for people who like to binge watch YouTube videos like me. And so I'm going to be going over how to use NotebookLM. Starting off, if you want to follow along with me, just go to notebooklm.google.com and then you're going to reach a page that looks like this here. Now, when you're on this page, you can see they have what they call our notebooks. And so these are basically congregations of information. And so if you click on new notebook, this is where you can drop PDF types or different file types such as PDFs, text files, markdown files, and even audio clips such as MP3 files. Me personally, I tend to actually copy and paste a bunch of YouTube video links. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I love learning from YouTube videos. And so I would just copy a bunch of YouTube video links over here. One thing to note is that I haven't found out a way to actually bulk input a bunch of YouTube URLs. So I do have to do one link at a time. If you have website articles, you can click on website here and paste the website URL. If you have just plain text, you could actually just go ahead and copy the text here. And so what NotebookLM actually does is that it's basically reading like the transcripts of videos, website articles, copied text, Google Drive documents, Google Slides. And so for each notebook, you're allowed up to 50 sources. And 50 sources to me has been more than enough sources to actually learn a subject. That's an overview of how to actually upload sources onto NotebookLM. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump into one of my used notebooks and show you how I use it specifically and how you can use it specifically as well. So here's one of my notebooks, okay? And it has around 30 resources, which are all YouTube videos. And so when you input all these sources, in order to add another source is that you click on this plus button on the left-hand side over here, and then you just reach the same window that I showed you earlier on in the video. Now, next, what you can do from here is that they have this button on the bottom right-hand corner called the Notebook Guide. Now, you can create an FAQ sheet, a timeline sheet, a study guide, a briefing doc, and a table of contents, and that'll automatically be generated based on all the sources that you provided to this specific notebook. It also provides you with a summary. And so I don't really use the pre-built templates and guides that it gives you. Let's go ahead and click on timeline and to just take a look at what it shows you. I don't use this all too much. I'll show you the two features of NotebookLM that I do tend to use a whole lot and which I'm pretty sure you will find beneficial. So right here is the timeline, and as you can see, it's creating a timeline based on the texts and series of excerpts that I provided to it. And so I don't use it all too much as far as using the pre-built guides goes. What I do tend to use a lot is this audio overview or this deep dive conversation. When you click on generate, what actually happens is that it generates a two-person conversation based on the summary of all the resources that it gave it. So I absolutely love using this audio overview or deep dive conversation feature just because I like downloading podcasts whenever I'm driving or whenever I'm going to the gym. So if you go ahead and click on generate, it's going to take a few minutes to actually generate a podcast clip, and that podcast clip sounds extremely realistic. You'll be very surprised to know that the podcast clip that it generates, it covers all the information, basically like key themes and recurring themes and highlights a bunch of information based on all the resources. So this is a great way to actually download an audio clip, put it on your phone, and then listen to it while you're at the gym or driving or basically just relaxing. I do use this feature a lot, and I actually go ahead and upload the audio file to my phone, and then I just listen to it on my free time. The main way I use NotebookLM is by actually talking to it or basically studying it. During my breaks, in the bottom left-hand side, if you click on view chat, you're going to see this chat window appear. Okay, and then on the right over here on the upper right hand, or basically like above the chat window, you're going to see suggested questions that you could actually ask the NotebookLM. So here we have one question saying, explain the 4 components of making $10,000 per month as described in the context. So if I go ahead and click that suggested question, it's going to send it to NotebookLM, and then it's going to write a response based on all the resources. So as you can see here, components of earning $10,000 per month, and it also provides you with the resource. So here's the first resource, and it goes to the YouTube video and basically the transcript, so 0 to 10K, everything you need to know. Here's the same resource. NotebookLM, it's not perfect, okay? So one thing I found is that it doesn't use every single resource that you provided to answer a question, but it uses basically evidence-backed answers to actually go ahead and pinpoint them on specific videos. So you can see that the answers that it gave for like these first 4 sentences here are referencing resource number 1. Over here, it's referencing a second resource, so you can watch that video. Sometimes it doesn't show the video, but it does still show the transcript. Here, it's showing a 4th resource, the most important aspect. So it's a really interesting way to actually study and learn about something, and this is how I specifically use it. So I use the auto-generated questions. What are the 3 things a person can effectively control in their psyche according to the speaker? So if I click that, it'll actually go ahead and generate a response based on all the resources I provided. The suggested questions are actually really thought out, as well as the answers. And so here, the controllable aspects of the psyche, and here there's 3 resources, there's more resource here. And it's basically formatted in a way where it's easy to digest information. It's really easy to understand. And now over here is when you could actually start typing your own questions. So I can ask it, what is the fastest way to start making $10,000 online? If I ask it specific questions, it's still going to provide me with evidence-based questions. So during my free time, instead of reading books lately or instead of watching YouTube videos, I'll actually just speak with this and go through a back and forth conversation, asking it questions and it giving me answers. So as you can see, it provides an answer on how to make $10,000 online the fastest way. I could even be more specific. I can say that my business model involves creating YouTube videos. What are the main tasks that I should be focusing on every day? So you can be really specific, and it's going to try to use the resources that you provided it in order to provide really well thought out answers. We're going to wait for this to load, and once it does load, I can show you what you can do with the response. So here is a really thought out answer. So content creation improvement, audience growth and engagement, skill development. It provides a lot of resources, discipline, focus, personal transformation. So it really is based on the resource that you provided in order to actually provide you with really well thought out answers. So here you could actually copy the response, and here you could actually save the response to a note. So what you see here are basically notes of responses that I've saved from previous conversations. And so this is an answer that it gave me how to peak my productivity. This is another answer it gave me where I asked it, what are the KPIs that I should focus for my YouTube business? Here's another response that I saved where what should my rigorous daily routine be if I want to successfully grow my YouTube business? One thing I also want to point out is that I don't know why the kind of window when you add these notes is so small. I wish it was larger. If I click this here, it's going to minimize out, but that's another thing where the responses aren't perfect, okay? The responses aren't going to use every single resource that you provided. Neither is the podcast clip that you generated. So if we check back here, this is the 14-minute podcast clip that it generated. It's not going to cover all the information, that's for sure. And in addition to that, if you go back to the save notes, I wish the window would appear larger just so I don't have to scroll. I don't know why it's so small. And I wish there was a quick function feature to actually copy this so that I can read it in a larger text, just because it's so small as far as like the window goes. But as far as expediting learning goes, how I personally use it is that I tend to binge watch like entire YouTube channels. And so this is an individual named Charlie Morgan. And if you look at his YouTube channel and you look at his videos, you'll see that some of his videos are like 50 minutes long, an hour long, 50 minutes long. I think I also input a video that was like 20 hours long. Here, another video is like an hour and a half long. So if you input all of these videos into NotebookLM and you allow it to actually go through the transcripts and learn about it, then you can just simply start asking it questions. So one of the videos I'm pretty sure I added was this video here. What are the principles to become a millionaire? I can simply ask that. What are the principles to become a millionaire? If you want to learn a specific YouTube video, I'll actually ask the specific question that I input as a resource. So this is one of the videos that I input into as one of my resources. And so if I simply ask it the title, it's going to hopefully give me a provided answer. And so as you can see here, principles for becoming a millionaire. And if you check the resources, like I said, the resources aren't going to be perfect. Some of these videos that I've added, this is the 22-hour video that I added into NotebookLM. But you can see that the answers are really, really thought out. And in addition to that, it helps me save a lot of time because instead of me watching like this 30-minute long video, and I still tend to watch videos on like 2x speed. So if I was still to watch this in 2x speed, it's still going to take me 15 minutes. Whereas while I'm watching TV or while I'm in a car ride, I can just simply start asking questions and really start to understand and digest the information, kind of like similar to how it was when I was in school, like actually studying textbooks. So this right here is a really preferred learning method that's in contrast to watching YouTube videos, where YouTube videos, they are detailed, they are thorough, but they do take some time. Whereas reading this here, it's really well formatted. I have to give it to NotebookLM to actually being such a well formatted way to actually present information and such. But as far as learning things go, this is an excellent way to learn. So how I personally use it, I add a bunch of YouTube videos in a subject. I actually have a notebook here dedicated to just singular YouTube videos, like daily YouTube videos. So I'll add like a YouTube video that I'm about to watch so that I could start highlighting it in case I want to ask any questions. But I hope you found how to use this tutorial on NotebookLM quite useful. Again, me personally, the way I use it is that I just go onto a YouTuber's YouTube channel and I add a bunch of his videos that I want to learn. And a really interesting thing is like I like learning about successful people, like particularly. So if Charlie Morgan, right, he's a successful entrepreneur, I could simply ask him like, what is Charlie's daily routine? And it just gives me a really good, it's kind of like reading an autobiography or learning an autobiography on someone. And so this is how I've specifically been using it. It's expedited my learning. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, do let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching.